This is Dr. Tom Barnard speaking for Fresh Medical Spa and Fresh Yoga. I want to talk a little bit more about stress. So we did put a introductory video on about stress, which explains a little bit about the concept of stress, and it might be worth going back and kind of listening to that a few minutes. Today I want to talk a little bit more about a few practical things. So how do you insulate yourself against the inevitable impact of stress in our lives in this increasingly speeded up world, increasingly speeded up society, even stress from the point of view of exposure to pollutants and that sort of thing. So the way we want to do that is, first of all, we want to make our physiology more robust. In some ways, one good way to do that is to pay attention to the health of our gut and to basically use a GI restoration kit that provides friendly bacteria, that provides enzymes for digestion, and that provides the raw materials for the bacteria in our gut to stay healthy and balanced. The reason for that is that our inflammatory system is part of the immune system, and part of what gets triggered in stress is this immune response that triggers inflammation. If we keep our gut balanced, all of those things are much more resistant to the typical effects of stress. The other thing is, what stress does, as we explained before, is really trigger this cascade of hormones that push the adrenal glands especially to put out cortisol. And cortisol makes it harder to lose weight. Cortisol causes stomach acid to increase. Cortisol tends to make us have more likelihood of injuries. And so what we want to do is minimize cortisol levels in several ways. One is making the gut healthy, like we say. The other is to keep our central nervous system from always being at the edge, at the brink of triggering a big response. In a way, we have a built-in stress response as a survival mechanism, but we also have a really powerful anti-stress response, what Herbert Benson at Harvard University called the relaxation response. And we want to really learn how to make the best use of that response. So one thing to do here at Fresh Medical Spa, we actually have a sanctuary, a room that you can go into and put on a chakra balancing tape, which allows us to balance the energy flow in the body, which is very protective, and lie on an amethyst crystal mat, and basically do a sort of far infrared energy detoxification at the same time that we relax deeply. And relaxing deeply pulls the central nervous system away from the brink, the threshold of triggering that very powerful stress response. So it kind of just drops us down from that kind of the edge of the cliff sort of thing. It leaves you feeling much better for sure. So if you have headaches or stomach upset, things like that, a lot of those things simply melt away when you do this kind of relaxation sanctuary or relaxation treatment program. The other thing to do is to actually use some of the products that we have, not only the gut restoration product, but also some of the things that just tone down cortisol levels directly. The supplement phosphatidylserine is great. Vitamin D is very powerful for that. We want to optimize our vitamin D levels. The amino acid from green tea called L-theanine. Some of the precursors of healthful and protective and anti-stress neurotransmitters like 5-hydroxytryptophan, 5-HTP. All of these things are very powerful, and we have them here in very mild and benign forms. The theanine, as a good example, comes as a capsule, easy to swallow, that you can actually even open up for kids. And in fact, they put theanine in chewing gum in Japan for children to reduce their stress, especially at exam times, etc. So we can use products here like Brain Calm. We have a product called Serenogen. If you come in and ask us about it, we can tell you which one of those, or several even, might be most useful for you as an individual, depending on your circumstance. But most important is, again, just like the concept we promote overall, what you want is balance in your life. You want to allow some time and schedule some time for you, schedule some time for you to relax, to be able to tone down the stress response, to be able to tone up the anti-stress relaxation response, and learn how to do that. Come here to Fresh Medical Spa and Fresh Yoga, and we can help you with that. This is Dr. Tom Barnard. speaking for Fresh Medical Spa.